All right, welcome back for another unboxing with me and my Yeti here. And we are doing now the second game in my recent delivery from White Dog Games. Disclaimer, I do get these games when I make Vassal mods for White Dog Games, so they send me a copy of the game. And this one really interested me, Mogadishu, 1993. Or better, more popularly known as Black Hawk Down. So this is Mogadishu here. Let me get the Yeti out of the way. And we'll pull it out of the reflective bag here. Okay, get that out of the way. Let's see if we can read the back here. I'm going to pause and make this closer. Okay, hopefully you can see this better. The MOG is a solitary game simulating 1993 United Nations in Mogadishu, Somali National Alliance against them. A number of exciting scenarios, including Task Force Ranger from Black Hawk Down. You control the UN forces, and the SNA are run by AI. 6 historical missions. In addition, you can create your own special missions using a random setup generator. Oh, that's good. That increases playability. Do you take an extra helicopter or gunship? Extra boots on the ground, additional trucks. So apparently I'm guessing you have points, and you buy your forces for those kind. Let's see, Somali forces, they got snipers, militia, RPGs, technicals, UN, you got Delta Force, Ranger Chalk, Humvees, CSAR, Combat Search and Rescue, UN Relief Convoys, UN Air Support. Optional, yeah, have an AC-130 flying around. Well, that'll bring a lot of firepower to the game. Small 22 by 17 map. 88 double-sided counters, quick reference sheet, 16-page rule book. All right, let's take a look at this here. Yeah, here's a map. It looks like it's kind of by areas here, and these are the buildings, but we'll see. Yeah, kind of looks like a picture of Mogadishu from the air here. And let's see what we got. There are the counters. Not a lot of counters. And again, I was looking at their other game, and this is a kind of a different format. I don't see a lot. That's thick, and they're really square. I think this is laser cut. I think that's what it is. Sometimes the problem with that, it leaves some kind of ash behind, or who knows. So those are the counters. Let's look at some other stuff here. Okay, this is the player aid card, I'd call it. Oh, wow. Solo procedural, from what I've heard from another review. So, yeah, you do it by the turn order. Somali action phase, and here's, I would say, the AI. So we got Somali reinforcement, roadblocks, UN air support, Somali action, and rules guiding that, Somali recovery, and then we got the UN action, and it gives the action choices for UN units based on what they are, and if they're pinned or unpinned. And that tells you what you can do. Then we got the UN relief phase. Check for mission completion. This must be the end. Oh, there's more. Quick reference sheet. Organize. Okay, here we go. Costs for your different UN forces. That makes sense. So in some of the scenarios, I think you buy them. Oh, here you're trying to rescue a prisoner, or maybe that's the people you want to capture. You place them. Then the SNA forces. Oh, put them in a draw container. And then rolls, and there's some randomized placement. So there's replayability right there. And we deploy the assault force and CSAR, combat search and rescue, if you want. How you do combat, both sides roll d6 and add their infantry strength. That's pretty straightforward. Versus a vehicle, fire rolls d6 and adds their anti-armor strength. Defender rolls d6 and adds their armor strength. Okay, pretty straightforward. Shoot at roadblocks, and then the assault. Both sides roll d6, add their infantry, lowest eliminated. Somali in a draw. Well, it's pretty quick and easy. Pretty straightforward there. Oh, this must be an example of play here. Yeah, that's good. Goes through the term. Looks like we got casualties, prisoners, ranger chalks. Got trucks coming in, pinned, some not. Ooh, RPG. Ranger chalk fire count. First ranger rolls a 2, added their infantry strength is 6. Sniper rolls a 5. 7. The fire is ineffective. Second ranger gets a 10. The sniper rolls a 3, and the sniper's dead. Next, Delta leads prisoners and launches an assault on the militia. Ooh, okay, cool. Oh, I started on the wrong side. Here's a full example of play. Okay, so that should be helpful. Walks you through a turn, so it should be quick to get into this game, actually. So we've looked at the counters, we've looked at the player aids. We do have the map. I'm kind of close in, but let's see if I can make this fit. Yeah, and it's like we saw in the back. Again, a paper map, and it looks like you're just moving between the areas, and this is like a road area. And these are in the buildings here. Then we've got UN entry points here and here. And then it looks like we got them here, and there's one down here. UN casualties, UN assets, SNA intel, Helo support, and the turn. That looks like the stadium. I don't know where the airfield is. Try and open it up more, give you an idea. Again, not too big, not too big. Straightforward paper map. Cool, cool. Let's look at the rules real quick. Let's see what we got. We got 11 pages of rules, if I'm reading this right. And then we got scenarios. Radio Mogadishu, Bloody Monday, Legato, Russian Embassy, Otto's Garage, Irene, Black Hawk Down, and a hypothetical raid. I think that's the one where you generate. And there are some optional rules. Print's bigger than the last game, so that's good. Interesting. We've got rules here and then recommendations here, I think. I don't know. So I guess you have to read both to get through this. Maybe explanations, detailed rules, and then kind of generic explanations. They talk about the counters you can have here. Delta Team, Ranger Chalk, platoons, 30 to 40 infantrymen. Humvees, 3 vehicles, 4 trucks, 3 military trucks. Combat search and rescue, armored personnel carriers. Well, I hope I paused that sneeze. Pinned, unpinned, good. This must be the SNA right here in yellow. Militia, SNA, SNA RPG, SNA Sniper, SNA Technicals. Other counters, night vision gear, Helo support counter, track how much you have. H6 Little Birds. Heavier armor personnel and tanks in the relief column. Casualty markers, you got to rescue them. Prisoners, you got to snatch them. Roadblock. SNA intel counter, determines Somali reinforcements. And then they talk about when you look at a counter, you have infantry strength, anti-armor strength, armor strength. I think that's for attacking. And this is for defending. And there's no tanks. Well, we got APCs, so they may be strong. That's pretty strong, though. 4. Okay. Only 2 units can be placed in the area, except for prisoners, casualties, relief convoy, roadblock. Okay. Here's sample force, 64 points, and they talk about how much each costs. Are there no Gila Delta or Gila Ranger? Generating a random area on the map. Roll a d6, how you can do that. That's the first roll. Oh, it's another d66. Yeah, d66, and I guess they're numbered. We could look at that. Points, place a target, set up initial SNA. Where does the next one go? Yeah, this is kind of explanation here in parallel. Interesting format. Deploy your assault force. CSAR. Combat, crossroad. Oh, this is all the combat here. Line of sight, day and night turns. I imagine things change. Combat, any combat unit can opt for fire combat. Infantry not moved. Vehicles is not moved, or it is an unpinned vehicle. Okay. Target is infantry. D6, add your infantry strength. The fire subtracts 1 during night, unless they are UN and have night vision. That's nice. Defender rolls a D6 and adds theirs. If the defender's total is higher than the fire, nothing happens. Fire is equal to or greater. Flip the defender to their pin side. If the defender was already pinned, they're eliminated. That's it. Fire's total is double. Flat out eliminated. Eliminated Somalis go to the draw counter container, and UN will go to the casualty box and replaced with a casualty counter. So now you got to go after him and get him out of there. Target is a vehicle. Defender fire target is a vehicle. Defender rolls D6, adds their anti-armor strength. Defender rolls a D6 and adds their armor strength. If the defender's nothing happens, fire is equal to or greater than, it goes to pinned. If it's already pinned, and a double. Same rules. Just using the armor and the anti-armor. Remove the vehicle. UN is removed to the casualty box and replaced with a casualty counter. So, got to get that crew out of there. And roll for any units being carried too. Target's a roll ball. Assault combat. Okay. Playing the game. Series of turns. And now they're talking about the different phases. Somali reinforcement. UN air support. Somali action phase. Let's see. So Somali reinforcement, they can place roadblocks randomly and roll a D3 per point of Somali intel. Good to know. That gets more units if the intel goes up. Figure out why that happens. Each helix support identify an area, and for each Somali combat unit in the area, roll a D6. Roll a 1, nothing. Roll a 2 to 4. Flip to pin side. If it's pinned, it's already eliminated. 5 or 6, it's just flat out eliminated. I remember that scene from Black Hawk Down. Somali action phase, and then here's the AI. Move. Priority list. Move onto an undefended Somali prisoner counter. Remove from play. So that's who the UN is after, and they get them free. Move onto an undefended casualty. And then it goes in the casualty box. Wow. SNA technical RPG snipers perform fire combat. Makes sense. SNA regular Somali temp assault. Then they maybe perform fire, and this is priorities. And then if you can't do any of that, you move towards the closest UN unit. Pretty straightforward. Maximum 2 Somali units can be present in a single area. I think you only move area by area. Not occupied by a UN vehicle or relief combat. Okay. So you can't move. I think that's a move into an enemy hex or area. It's assault combat. Somali recovery. All pinned Somali units are flipped over to the unpinned side. Whoops. That's how you get unpinned. So if you pin somebody, you better take another shot and eliminate them. Unpinned can perform one of the following. Move, perform fire combat, embark, disembark. And we have that chart depending on your situation, what you can do. Movement, move into an adjacent area, unless it's a road with an SNA technical sitting in it. Okay, if the destination contains Somali infantry, assault combat immediately moved. In wargame parlance, this sounds like an overrun, which the Somali can't do. Embarking units, disembarking. Okay, so we're back to UN relief phase. They optionally place a UN relief counter as below. Roll a D6. Oh, optionally. That's interesting. Check to see if the mission is complete. And here are the criteria. And mission penalty points. Probably for casualties and losses. Yep. And let's see. And then we got the scenarios. Radio Mogadishu, separate game. Scenario does not use force points. Yeah, you have specific units here. So and then they got the historical background here. Okay. Russian embassy. That's interesting. Looks like you gotta capture that. Otto's garage is the same as Lig Legato with the following changes. Okay, so you got a choice there. There's Black Hawk Down. And, okay, got rules about that. Hypothetical raid. Randomized setup to produce a different scenario each time. There you go. Organize your forces, and then depending on how many points you get, choose a level below. -6, -4. Okay, looks like that's how much they... roll a d6 to determine how many force points you get to spend, or choose a level below. 40 points, you could lose 6 points. I'll have to look at that. Okay, that's good. I mean, that's good for replayability. Here's your AC 130. 1 to 2 no effect, 3 or 4 pinned, 5 or 6 eliminated. Sounds similar there. 10 force points if purchased. Place the AC 130 in the asset box. Up to 4 areas. Oh, that's where you get the killer effect. 4 areas in one turn. Tow barrage. 2 anti-tank missile. Okay, UN coordination. I guess they weren't doing that good. APCs. So I guess those are optional too. And random events. Oh, nice. Got some random events here. Vulnerable helo support. If you target a helo with an RPG, SNA RPG, something bad could happen to it too.